Hey everyone, welcome to Marvel Time, issue number 79. As you can tell, things not operating as normal here. It is not Wednesday, it is Friday, it is 8 p.m. Eastern now, and Benji's not here with me, so Kyle is joining again. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, I read zero comics in the past 20 minutes since I decided I was going to be doing this. So,
Yeah, so obviously our conversation about the comics will be a little bit briefer, but that also means we do get to play our favorite game where Kyle gets to look at the covers of this week's comics and completely from those alone just tell me what they are about. So
you
let's
shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but I'm going to have to.
yes, exactly.
And I
So
will give, I can, after we look at all of them, I can give my cover of the week.
oh yeah, I like that. Although I think it's going to be a pretty easy choice because there's one that I really like.
And
Uh,
it's the thumbnail for the video.
Yeah, exactly. So everybody here has seen it already.
We'll see. Maybe I'll exempt that one.
Okay, that's fair. Let's jump right in here, and we're going to start off with 10 Deaths of Wolverine. And I'm excited. Before I actually ask you, did you happen to read my review of this comic? Because that is
No,
up on Laughing Place right now.
no, sorry. That would be smart.
No, I'm glad you didn't because that would have given away what this comic was about, obviously. But I'm very excited for you to guess and be completely wrong about what this comic is about. So go ahead. What do you think?
Well, based on the cover, all I've got is that, well, I know Wolverine dies upwards of 9 times. And I feel like he must be putting some like luminescence on his claws, and then he's playing around with shutter speed so that he can get that light painting going on.
I
So
like
yeah,
it.
he's learning photography or experimenting with a friend who does photography.
That's a strong guess. This comic is about Moira McTaggart being on the run from Mystique and getting some assistance from Jane Foster, and some sort of time traveling Wolverine maybe shows up at the end. That's about it. That's all that Wolverine has to do with this comic. It was very weird. Uh, that being said, I did really like the issue. And this came a week after the 10 Lives of Wolverine. So this is kind of a Wolverine event that is crossing over between two different series, which is done in a very weird way. But the 10 Lives of Wolverine was very much focused on Wolverine, which makes sense. This one, not at all, obviously. So weirdly, though, I liked this issue a lot more. I thought this was a really good comic. I just think it's mistitled. It feels like it doesn't have anything to do with the title. But I think it was a really interesting story. They've done a good job lately of making Moira McTaggart an interesting character where she really hasn't been for most of her, existence. So I think they're doing a pretty good job with that right now. I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm still very confused as to what is happening with this event, which is unfortunately the norm with the X titles. So let's get into our next one here. This is going to be Avengers Forever #2. Good luck.
Okay. Um, let's see here. I'm zooming in. There's some sort of monster. It's got a long tongue, but it's not venom.
Mm.
Uh, unless it is venom. um, uh, and there looks like there's Ghost Rider's part of it. Rider, not writer. Um, Ant-Man. I don't know. It looks like it's like a Hydra sort of a thing with all the different tentacles.
I'm going to be honest here. You pretty much nailed it. This is actually this villain, this character with the long tongue that you mentioned, is the Black Skull. This is taking place in a different universe. So this is a multiverse spanning event here, Avengers Forever, and that is the Red Skull with the Venom symbiote on him. So Hydra and the Venom tongue. You got it all there. You're right. Ghost Rider is the main character of this particular issue. And Ant-Man, you were right about that, except that's actually Tony Stark as Ant-Man in this universe.
I was wondering, it did have like Iron Man qualities.
Yeah, yeah, there are some Iron Man aspects of this suit that he's wearing here. This is a fun event. It's been laid out in a very interesting new way. This particular issue, not fun. This was Ghost Rider being tortured by the Black Skull for 27 pages or whatever the number was, but very dark, very heavy material in this issue. I'm not a huge Ghost Rider fan, so that didn't really appeal to me right from the get go. But I will say Robbie Reyes has become a more interesting character to me than Johnny Blaze or Danny Ketch or any of the previous versions, aside from maybe Cosmic Ghost Rider with Frank Castle, but that's a whole different animal. I do love the character designs as we get into this new universe. The Black Skull is such an interesting combination of two characters, and that makes for some really awesome artwork. So there's a lot of really cool visuals in this series, and I'm definitely interested to see where we go going forward with this, because it's not all going to be about Robbie Reyes getting tortured, luckily. So
Who is this other character that I didn't name?
that is a Deathlock. If the human that has become a cyborg and is now a multiversal tool for the Avengers. It's complicated.
Okay.
Let's move on to our next one. Much simpler here. This is going to be the Amazing Spider-Man number 87. And obviously, you got a couple different characters on the cover of this one. So what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I have to say I am fairly new to comics. I don't know if I've ever seen dialogue bubbles on a cover before.
It's rare. It happens, but you don't see it very often.
It looks like he has found Peter Parker, whoever is Spider-Man, and is challenging them in some way, and has their outfit, clearly. And he's with Black Cat. Is that who that is?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're not wrong. That was a pretty accurate guess for this one. This is the part of the Beyond series where we've been operating with Ben Reilly as Spider-Man for quite a while now, as Peter Parker has been in a coma in the hospital for the last, 15 issues at this point. So he's been out of action for a long time, and now he has just woken up and is ready to get back at it. And knowing Peter Parker, he would be rushing into things and getting himself into some trouble. So before he could do that, Black Cat enlisted the help of Captain America and is trying to ease him back into things. They're trying to make him prove that he can be Spider-Man again. So you were right. I mean, they are challenging him, by testing him to make sure he is ready to go again. So yeah, this was fun. This was what I needed coming off of that Avengers Forever issue, because this was much more lighthearted. And felt very real too. Like you don't typically in these kinds of, in a superhero story, it's just, okay, the hero is awake again, they can come in and save the day. But this is, if you're recovering from an injury, it's going to take you some time to get back into the swing of things. See what I did there? And he, he has to go through that, and it's pretty cool. I like when these stories stay grounded and make it more relatable. And just feels very real world. And that's what Spider-Man is kind of about. I know it's a guy with the powers of a spider, but it is as real world as a superhero can be for the most part.
So is it like the third act of Homecoming? Or no, is it? Which one is it? Is it Homecoming?
Yeah, I guess no. I could see that when he's getting back, when he doesn't have the suit anymore and he's kind of trying to earn it. Yeah, that makes sense. I could see that. From a simple Amazing Spider-Man title, we are going to jump into one of the second of the three big crossover events we're talking about today, because Marvel has so many of them going on all at once. And this is Devil's Reign, number 3. This is going to be my pick of the week. I have been all about this Devil's Reign event since it started. And this is a pretty descriptive, it gives you lots of images as to what's happening all around this event, but doesn't really tell you much, I guess. So what do you think?
This is a trick. This is not a comic. This is a novel.
It does look.
No, it looks very much like a novel, down to like the frame and the thing, and the Okay, well, you got Captain America and Daredevil fighting people in an alley, perhaps. And then you have, I don't know who either of those people are. Is it Luke Cage by chance?
It is, yes, that is Luke Cage.
Okay, I don't know who the girl is. Jessica Jones? That's the only
Yep.
other name I got. Oh, all right. And then there are, looks like some sort of like RoboCop, like SWAT army thing going on. So I get protest vibes or some sort of battle and war. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, again, pretty spot on there. So what this event is all about is the mayor of New York, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, has outlawed superheroes. Anyone with any sort of super ability is no longer allowed to practice superheroism. Is that, I don't know how to put that, but
So it's
yeah,
like
so
the Sokovia Accords, but
yeah,
more
exactly.
strict.
And actually, they mentioned that in this not the Sokovia Accords, but the comic equivalent, the Superhero Registration Act. They mentioned that they can't allow this New York law to escalate to a national stage and deal with another Superhero Registration Act, which I thought was really cool. This is civil war on a small scale, without pitting the superheroes against each other. It gives them a common enemy, and yet still, a very willing and able enemy that they are going to have a hard time dealing with. This wasn't my favorite issue of the series so far, because it's sort of, it's progressing the story in that, like, that we're kind of in the middle of it now. We're dealing with, taking the small steps into the big climax of it. So it didn't advance it too far, but I did really enjoy this issue. Again, Chip Zdarsky is doing an awesome job with this crossover event. I love, the characters that are the main players of this. Captain America, obviously, Daredevil, Luke Cage. Luke Cage is running for mayor of New York against Wilson Fisk. So there's this political battle going on, along with, the obvious superhero battle. The Purple Man has a big role in this too, which is really interesting. And I was surprised to see this crossover, which is kind of weird. There's a tie-in issue going on with Dr. Octopus, who has been given control of the Baxter building and is using Reed Richards' lab to do some mysterious things. And he's actually using the multiverse and assembling a team of Otto Octavius's Octavii, and bringing these ridiculous characters together. So that's like this whole separate thing. But I was excited and surprised to see that it kind of brought it back in to the main storyline too. So definitely interesting. Highly recommend Devil's Reign. Once this is all wrapped up and on Marvel Unlimited, I would recommend anyone check it out for sure. And one more issue we have to talk about. This is going to be The Death of Doctor Strange, number 5. Not a ton you can take from this cover, but I think the title.
Yeah, Doctor Strange may or may not be dead. Doing some wizardy stuff and with the universe.
Sure. Yep. To be honest, there's the long-winded, complicated explanation of this story, and then there's what you just gave, which is just, and honestly, having read the whole thing now, because this is sort of the finale of it, although it's kind of bleeding into the next Doctor Strange series, or I guess it's just Strange. But this is, like I said, you can get that whole confusing explanation, or the very simplified, like, may or may not be dead. You're kind of right about that, because Doctor Strange was murdered, and the person who had to solve the murder was Doctor Strange. Somehow cut out a week of his own life, and in case he ever died, that version of himself from years ago would show up and fix things over the course of the
Boy
week.
Scout, always prepared.
So yeah, this was definitely an interesting series. It took some twists and turns that I did like. Wasn't crazy about this finale. It felt kind of rushed, and they spent 2 full issues more or less building up these big villains, and then we got a glimpse of the main one in the last issue, and the fight lasted maybe 4 or 5 pages, and then it was just wrapped up very quickly to get to the next thing. And I get it because of everything that's going on in the Marvel universe right now. So many different, like I said, so many different crossover events. We also had Devil's Reign and Avengers Forever. There's also Timeless going on. So there's a lot happening in Marvel Comics. So you couldn't really give too much of the spotlight to Death of Doctor Strange anymore. But I kind of wish they had let this finale breathe a little bit. I think, that we're due, that fight should have given us more, I think. So that is it for our comics. You did a pretty good job, all things considered.
Thank you.
Aside from the 10 deaths of Wolverine, which you were absolutely set up to fail there. There's no chance you were getting that one right. But jumping from comics to just Marvel news here, and I know you're going to have...
by the way, this cover would be my second place behind the X-Men one. By default, I didn't really like any of the covers that much this week, aside from the Wolverine. This, I like the coloring at least. So yeah, that would be my winner.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. The cover art for all of the Death of Doctor Strange series has been awesome. But yeah, I agree. I think that Wolverine one, and I'll show you one more time here. That is my favorite. I saw, as soon as I saw this one, I sent it to you, and I was like, early contender for cover of the year here, because this is really cool.
X gonna give it to you.
Don't get us copyright issues here. You sound just like DMX. So we're going to transition to Marvel news, and I know, you are going to have some thoughts on at least our first topic here, because it was a while ago now, but we got a trailer for Moon Knight, as well as the first poster, which you can see here. I'm obviously a huge Moon Knight fan. I've been looking forward to this series for a very long time. I want to get your thoughts on this trailer.
I was very interested in it. I love the style of it. I enjoyed the Kid Cudi song that they used. So it's a plus for me. I think when it ended, the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, this is going to be on Disney Plus. Like, it's not like it was inherently gritty or overly violent or anything, but it's just got such like an interesting adult vibe to it. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I know people are making fun of his accent, but I'm inclined to believe that that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Since he has multiple personality. Yeah.
Right.
So I think those people are stupid. And that's all I got.
Yeah, this I totally agree with your point about the accent, and his voice changes quite a few times throughout the trailer. I think that is his different personalities taking over at different times. I loved this trailer because it didn't give away a whole lot. And yeah, see, a lot of people are going to be excited about this series. It looks different, which is always exciting to get something different from Marvel. And I mean, I think they've done a great job with their Disney Plus series so far. I think everything, for the most part. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think, was probably the most MCU of the shows. Everything else has been a little bit different, and Moon Knight definitely looks that way. I am still curious too about how far they're going to be willing to push the envelope being on Disney Plus, because Moon Knight is an ultra violent character, and you actually see some blood in this trailer. So that's different too. I'm really excited to see what they're willing to do with this character. There's a lot to take away from this trailer, and I have a post on Laughing Place right now if you want to get some more of the details. But one of the most interesting things, I think, is that, and the name is escaping me right now, but Ethan Hawke's character, you only get his name from the closed captioning if you watch the trailer on YouTube. I believe it's Arthur Harrow, something along those lines. It's close to that if that's not it. And the reason I can't remember that name is because he only appeared in one comic ever. And that comic, the whole series, is not even on Marvel Unlimited, so I couldn't go and read this or anything. But that, to me, is a bit of a red herring. I think this is actually playing up for him to be the Sun King, or Ra, or whatever name they decide to go with for this character. He has a lot of similarities to a character from a more recent Moon Knight series. So I'm interested to see what they do with him. And you also get a few looks at Khonshu, the moon god who gives Moon Knight his powers. and he looks creepy. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So this is just going to be a really awesome series. I can't wait for it. March 30th.
Well, I was gonna say, I think the most interesting thing for me, or most surprising thing, was that it's only 2 months away, because we didn't have that date before. We thought we were going to be waiting around for Ms. Marvel. So
yeah, that's. I mean, we were coming into 2022 flying blind. We were pretty sure we were getting something before Doctor Strange in May, and this is probably actually on a little bit of the later side from what I expected. I thought March, but I would have guessed early March. So we'll see. Obviously we have some time before we wait for Moon Knight, but then I'm curious what the timeline is going to look like beyond that for 2022, because we're still getting at least 2 more shows, and who knows what else pops up, because there's still a lot on the slate. We just don't know when it's hitting just yet. We also got, surprisingly so too, this just kind of hit out of nowhere. There were 10 deleted scenes for Hawkeye that were released on Hotstar overseas, internationally, and I don't even know how many markets anymore. Is it just India?
I think India is just Hotstar. Star is in Europe and Canada.
Right.
But okay. Hotstar, I believe, is just India and maybe a couple other countries in that region.
Got it. So yeah, they got the deleted scenes. I haven't checked Disney Plus since to see if they've been added, but they weren't added at the time that they got released over there. But of course, they found their way to Twitter one way or another. So we did get to see all of them. Did you get a chance to watch them?
I actually haven't watched them yet. I should go do that after this.
I highly recommend at least a few of them. One of them for sure being this one that you see right here. This is titled You Never Miss. And this is a young Clint Barton with his mother. I loved this scene because, and this is long too. It's about 8 minutes long, I think. And they finally give us a look at his criminal past, and which is a thing for him in the comics, but they've never really even mentioned it in the MCU. So I really like that they did that. Also just gives you an idea of what a young Clint Barton went through with his mother. So really cool. Highly recommend it. There's also some more scenes with Wilson Fisk, with Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk. So that was cool to see. A scene that is not in itself emotional, but between a young Maya meeting Kazi for the first time. But when you put that together with the finale of the show and think about everything that they went through, definitely emotional. Going to change the way you watch the finale if you go back and rewatch at some point. So yeah, definitely recommend checking these out. And I'm going to have to check myself to see if they've been added to Disney Plus since then, but I don't think they've added deleted scenes for any of the other shows. So
yeah, not for the shows that I can recall or that I found.
I mean, we don't even know if there are any deleted scenes for the other shows, but definitely have something else.
We know there must be deleted scenes, but don't know if they're finished ones.
Right. Let's see. We also found out that this was last week. Production restarted on Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. This was after the injuries sustained by I'm going to Letitia Wright. There we go. I almost just said Shuri. Like that's just who she is to me. And then also after that they had a delay restarting because of a COVID outbreak within the cast and crew. So everyone's healthy now and they're continuing to produce this film. So get back on track there, and hopefully we don't have to wait too long before we see it. Next, we had a very exciting addition to Epcot. And this is the Nova Corps. What is Star Blaster? I believe is the actual name of the ship. I was
there up so quick. Yeah,
I was there. Tuesday, I think, and it was just the cockpit of the ship. So it was just that little yellow part that you see in the middle. And we got into a conversation at work, and I was like, just wait until they add the whole star piece to it, because it's going to look much bigger and much, more like the big attraction that it's supposed to be, I think. It looks awesome. I can't wait to see the fully finished product, especially once this attraction is open and you see the whole facade of it and everything. It's going to look really cool.
And we're getting pretty close to this opening too. Like it still feels so long away. I think that happens with, we were seeing so much at the beginning when they were gutting out the old attraction, but then everything's been kind of, behind walls. Like you couldn't look in and see what's happening like you can with Tron a lot of the times.
Right.
So I think this is a big symbol that things are moving quickly and that we're, only a few months away from this debuting.
Yeah, well, summer 2022 on the Disney calendar is like a 8-month window.
September. It'll be September or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we still have some time, but in terms of everything opening at Walt Disney World, this is definitely very close. So looking forward to that for sure. We also got some promo art for the Disneyland Paris Avengers campus, including the what is the name of the Iron Man attraction?
I don't believe that they've announced a name yet. But yeah, this is our first look at that ride vehicle. And also, you're not wrong saying Disneyland Paris, but to confirm, it's not at Park Disneyland. It's at Walt Disney Studios Park. Disneyland Paris is the name of the resort.
Yes.
It's one of and they don't make it clear by putting Sleeping Beauty Castle in the background there.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Just in case you go over there and buy a ticket for the wrong park or something.
Right. Yes, true. Although I'm pretty sure they will promote it well enough once you're there to know which park you're going to. But yeah, this looks really cool, and I'm excited to see the finished product of this. Well, not just the Iron Man attraction, but their Avengers campus as a whole. I'm going to see, what's different there as opposed to what we have over in Disney California Adventure, which I am going back to very soon. Cannot wait to get back to Avengers campus. It's been too long already.
And if they keep, because where the Stark, where the Iron Man coaster is going, it was Rock and Roller Coaster. So if I assume they'd keep most of that track, so it's going to be a pretty intense coaster by Disney standards.
Yeah, so I'm very interested in that too, because I think as far as Disney goes, I guess Marvel is more for an older audience as opposed to most other properties, but I think you still try to make things family oriented within the Marvel realm. So I'm interested to see if this is going to remain a more intense coaster.
I would think so. Their Space Mountain over there has inversions, so
okay. So yeah, I guess it's just a different ballpark over there.
Yeah, I'm just excited because that park needs stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with this area being closed off for this, there's like two things to do, and one of them is drink mulled wine,
which a lot of people might enjoy. But yeah, I haven't been there.
It smells amazing. I haven't had it, but it smelled great.
I have heard that this park definitely needs some help, and Avengers Campus is going to deliver that, I think. So we'll see. Changing gears a bit here, we're jumping into the realm of merchandise now, and Hasbro announced their new Iron Spider figure. They didn't give much information on this figure, although they shared some pictures. You can see some more of them on laughingplace.com, but it looks awesome, but we didn't get many details. And basically this was just the first announcement as they're celebrating the 20th anniversary of their Marvel Legends series line. And they announced that they'll be making more announcements. On the 20th of every month, they're going to reveal a new figure, which is really exciting. That should be a lot of fun. 12 new figures, I guess. It could be multi-packs and whatnot. But so yeah, this Iron Spider figure is just the first of many that we're going to see revealed this way. And it looks really, really cool. It has, I haven't been collecting figures for very long. I don't know if there have been other Iron Spiders with with all of the tentacles and everything. But this is a really, it's not just your standard action figure. It's much bigger once you get it all extended and everything.
Yeah, no, it looks pretty cool.
And then our next piece of merchandise, and I know you saw this when you asked me if I was going to be getting this. This is obviously Spiderman Monopoly. I am not a fan of Monopoly, so I probably will not be adding this to my collection.
Well, this works a lot different. So they've changed quite. I actually talked about this with Becca on Barely Necessities, and she knew much more about it than I did. She really read into it, but they changed a lot of the aspects. So a lot of the mechanics are basically the same, but they all are differently themed. You can see that there's like tokens and all sorts of things that don't look very Monopoly like, and these like spider bots. The spider bots are like the hotels apparently.
Okay.
So you can charge more for rent. There's still rent involved somehow. Um, but but I do like a few things about this, and the first one is that they have Spider Gwen or Ghost Spider, and then
Mhm.
they have Miles Morales, and they have Spider Ham. So
Yeah.
because they have all of those, and I guess that's Spider-Man 2099,
Yes.
and that's Oscar Isaac in the Spider-Verse.
Yep. Yeah.
Who's
Coming
the
full
last
circle.
one?
Right
Silk.
there. Yes, Silk is on there as well. I did look at this too, and I looked at all of our photos, which again you can see on laughingplace.com. I almost want to buy this and other Monopolies just to collect the pieces, because I think that would be such an awesome thing to just have displayed out. These are
Yeah, the
so
little pewter Spider-Man.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, those are really cool. I mean, who doesn't want a little Spider Ham Monopoly piece? So, and yeah, this is available now, so you can order your new Spider-Man Monopoly game. Now, one more thing before we jump into our comic news. It's funny. I had totally forgotten about Trivia Crack until this story came up, and I was like, "Oh, I remember playing that." Now there's a Marvel version it's an Instagram filter, so a very interesting way to do that. But you can test your Marvel knowledge on Instagram now with this new. What is the full name of it? It is just Marvel Trivia Crack Challenge filter on Instagram. So again, test out your Marvel knowledge. Have you tried this out yet?
I haven't, but the only thing I know is that it's a lot cheaper than Marvel Trivia Cocaine.
I don't.
And now we're getting demonetized.
I. All right, moving on. Let's finish up with some Marvel Comics news. We'll bring things full circle here. We found out a little over a week ago that Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. will be taking over the Amazing Spider-Man in April. Come after we're done wrapping up this Beyond saga, which will be ending in late March. So I'm excited. I'm excited for a new chapter of Amazing Spider-Man. There were also a whole bunch of because we were celebrating 60 years of Spider-Man this year. There's a whole bunch of variant covers that a lot of incredibly talented artists created for this first issue, and you can check those out on laughingplace.com as well. We also got XMen 92, which is not to be confused with XMen 97, the Disney Plus series. This is the comic series that is going to be a 90s take on the House of X story arc. So I'm really interested in this because House of X was very good, but also very confusing. And I think if you were to simplify it back to the days of those 90s X-Men, as you can see, the look of the characters here is right from the animated series. It looks so awesome. I love this cover. And I think if you simplify that story and get back to the basics with that, I think that could be really, really interesting. So I'm excited for that. That is coming in April as well. Is this something you'd be interested in checking out?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I know we're both looking forward to the new animated Disney Plus series for sure. So, and not quite accompanying comic series because again, 92, 97.
5 years different.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the plan is there, but I like it. I like that they're going back to that era. So interested for sure. We also learned about a new Captain America series that will interestingly start with Captain America #0 in April, and it's going to feature two Captain Americas teaming up, Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson. So and then
in the background.
Yeah, I love the art of this already. They announced this series in a trailer, which is not typically how they do things, but I love the art they showed off. You see virtually every Captain America villain and other characters that have been tied to Captain America.
The U.S. Patriot.
Yeah, there are. Oh yeah, there's so many. You got
What is this? What is this brain-looking thing?
The brain-looking thing. Are you talking
Krang.
here?
Looks like Krang. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Arnim Zola, and I believe he is he is going to be the first villain that they are facing off in this series. So that should be a lot of fun. We
And
also
what's
see
the
MODOK, Baron Zemo is back there. Obviously, Winter Soldier.
Yeah, the one looks like an angry Ewok, and up by Vision and Bucky.
That's MODOK.
Okay.
This one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got MODOK there, and I'm sure he's going to have quite a role to play. I'm excited for this because you're kind of going through all of Captain America's history here and bringing it into a modern story. So I'm looking forward to that. A few more here. Strange Academy, my favorite new series of the past couple of years, will be wrapping up its first chapter in, its first semester in April. That is April 27th. We'll be getting Strange Academy number 18. But they did promise, don't worry, there's going to be more Strange Academy adventures coming in the future. So definitely looking forward to that. This is the first series, I think, that we've talked about since we started this show, that I have gone to Marvel Unlimited and read from start to what is considered the finish right now. But will read all of this because this series is fantastic. I highly recommend it, and I will stick to my guns of this 100% deserves a Disney Plus series. It would make such a good show.
That's one that I've really wanted to read. I was actually there when, I don't know if it was the first announcement of it, but they talked about it at C2E2 in 2020 when I went.
Yeah.
So it was cool to hear about. I've loved the art that I've seen, and I know you've been a fan. So I will definitely have to go check that out on Marvel Unlimited, or I suppose there'll probably be a trade paperback of this first semester or something.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there will be at some point because again, this will be coming out in April. 18 issues, very easy to put that into one paperback, and I'm sure it wouldn't take too long for them to have that out in stores afterwards. So many fantastic characters in the series, just can't recommend it enough. We are also getting in May, Devil's Reign Omega will wrap up the crossover event that we were talking about earlier. Which this always hits me like when we're reading an event and it's January and we're talking about the last issue of it coming out in May. But you factor in all the tie-in issues, you take breaks in between the main storyline. So it's not like it's going to be a 20-issue crossover series, but definitely looking forward to Devil's Reign Omega. Obviously, we are leading back to Matt Murdock and Elektra working together here. And we also know, based on the announcement of Daredevil #1 coming in June, that Matt Murdock will be taking over the reins again and becoming the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. Don't know what that means for Elektra, who has just started off the Woman Without Fear series, which is really awesome as well. But we're going to find out in May and June, I guess, because once Devil's Reign wraps up, there's obviously a separation there, so we'll see where each character is going to go.
Has he ever moved on the other side of the tunnel? Because then he could be the Jersey Devil.
Okay, gotcha. I wasn't sure where we were going with that. Okay. No, well, you know what? I'm sure that actually they make fun of New Jersey quite a bit in Marvel Comics, so they like to stick to New York, and that's what I really liked about Devil's Reign, the issue that we talked about from this week. They specifically said, as Sue Storm is meeting with a lawyer, the rest of the country is looking at this as a New York problem, and it's so funny that just all of these stories happen. There's so many characters, and it's really just limited to New York City. And they don't want that problem to stretch out to the rest of the country. So that's why I think Devil's Reign is such an interesting story right now. But I don't think we're going to see Daredevil or any other character in New Jersey, aside from maybe Kamala Khan, because that's where she's from. She's the one we get in New Jersey, which is
where Jersey City, or
yeah, she is Jersey City, which is, I mean, hey, great character. There are states with worse. So, but yeah, that is all we've got for this week. Sorry for the weird timing of, we're obviously not our typical Wednesday warrior selves this week. But
maybe you should eat a Snickers.
The hashtag not a sponsor. But we will be back to our normal schedule, our normal routine, talking about comics next week. I have not prepared. I'm not used to saying what else we have coming up on a Friday night. I mean,
well, there's no DTL tomorrow, so there's nothing until Monday.
Yeah, so we got some time, but then come back and join us on Monday. And again, we'll be back with Marvel Time on Wednesday. Also, Kyle and myself discuss Marvel quite a bit on the Zacks of Life podcast, which we're not doing right now because we have no Marvel projects happening, but we'll be back pretty soon.
Maybe in a few weeks.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. Anything else before we wrap up?
I don't think so.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.